Welcome to the EFX Sports Mighty Football Weekly. I'm your host, Doug Mowat. In a second, we'll be talking to both coaches about their expectations for this weekend's game with Staley's Tire versus Universal Athletic. Now here are this past weekend's scores.
Three and 0 this season. Tell me how you feel about the season so far.
It's awesome, especially where I came from. We started coaching about 3 years ago, and we had a real rough first season. A lot of losses. Still kind of learning some things as a coach, how to work with young kids. But this team here is really good. I've got a lot of good kids. They all work hard for me. So being 3 and 0 is a good feeling.
Going into this game, you're undefeated, and so is Universal. What will it take to win?
Execution and not turning the ball over. That's been one of the biggest, challenges to overcome in these younger leagues is having teams that don't turn the ball over. I know it seems about every game there's 4 or 5 turnovers, and that's been one of the pluses for us is that we haven't turned the ball over. And that's another thing that's got us into these games where we're keeping teams out of the end zone is that we're creating turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. They've just done a really good job of protecting the ball and keeping it in our hands.
What has been a surprise this season for your team? Going into the season, you had a plan, but what has been a surprise so far after 3 weeks in the regular season?
It was kind of the way this group all gelled together from day one. I think you were even out here for a couple of practices to help out. And this particular group of kids, when you got young kids like this, sometimes it's hard. It could take all season for them to gel. And this group, they gelled together in day one, and it's kind of grown since then. I guess if there's any aspect of the game that surprised me, it's the passing game. I've had, I think, more passing touchdowns than running touchdowns, and so for me that's been a surprise, and they've executed really well in that part of the game.
Biggest surprise for you since you've been here since 7 and 8, since your kid was 7 and 8, and you've been coaching for the last 2 years. What have you noticed about this young of an age playing football that you would say benefits them as they go along?
This particular league, it's I think what's been good for the kids is it's offered some good coaching. I mean, most of the coaches have had a college level experience, semi-pro experience, arena experience. So you've had some good coaches that have, I think, taught the kids some good techniques that I don't know if they're getting out in the other leagues here in town. I've seen a lot of just in tackling, receivers catch, their receiving techniques. I know my son surprised me just with his tackling techniques this year that have slowly gotten better. The progression has been incredible over a 3-year period. I mean, he's making tackles that I could use, in coaching clinics. And it's been a short 3-year progression, so I think that's been part of the coaching. I know Chris obviously is picked certain coaches that he thought could help these kids, and I think it's paying off.
Playmakers. Give us some playmakers we can see on Saturday to make some plays.
Well, I have about 7 kids right now that I can count on to make plays. Donovan Dixon has been, at that quarterback position, he's a double threat. I mean, if there's a receiver open, he's going to hit him. He's going to get him the ball. If no one's open, I've seen him use his legs to make big plays. My son Aiden has just about the same. I mean, they're almost like a mirrored image of one another where they can make, whether it's at the quarterback spot, the running back spot, the receiver spot. I know if I need a play, I've got 2 guys right there that can get me either a first down or a touchdown almost at any point in the game. And that's, for a coach, that makes it so much easier. I've got Taven, who out there surprised me. If there was one player that's really surprised me, it's him, because anytime he goes deep, he's catching 30, 40-yard touchdowns. So that's been great for the team. It's actually given our quarterbacks confidence that they got someone they can throw the ball to downfield and they know is going to catch it. Another big surprise for me that's turned into a playmaker is Coulter, my tight end. He was a O-line, D-line for me last year, and I never even imagined trying to throw him the ball. He surprised me by, just before practice we'd play some catch. His hands were good. I mean, he was confident. He told me he had a goal of getting 3 touchdowns this year. He's already got his 3 touchdowns. So we've kind of upped his goals, and his confidence, I've seen it go from here to up here. I mean, so I've got about 5, 6 kids, like I said, that can really make plays at any point in time.
Well, thank you, man. We'll get you off the hot seat and good luck this weekend.
There you go.
Next up, we're talking to Universal's coach, Mike Rice.
3-0 season, much success so far. What makes you guys so good defensively?
You know, I just think that, I just told the kids right now, I think we're the most improved team in the league. From what I saw, night of the Jamboree, we didn't see all the teams, but from what I saw of our team to now, I can confidently say we've improved the most. I just put that on the kids. They're willing to listen, they're coachable. I was just telling my wife today what a good group of kids this is. Good group of coaches, good group of kids. Practice is fun, but we get after it, we get things learned. That defensive side of the ball, that's Coach Cicero, Coach Moda. They know what they're doing, and those kids love to play for those two.
Big game. How are you preparing for Staley's physical and speedy pace?
You know, I think if you watch that, we practiced really bad. That's how we got ready. Is we practiced as poorly as we could.
It shows in your game.
You know, so I think that's kind of been our MO, and it's kind of become a joke. You know, I can't get anything done offensively against this defense. Maybe that's why we're good. We get out on game day and do well. I do know that we have a big challenge. I haven't seen them yet. I've heard they've got some lightning rods on defense, and I know they're going to blow us up. We just have to be ready for that big play.
Covering Salter and Dixon and Klein, those are the 3 that you need to watch out for.
We know who we're watching.
Right. Are there any kids that you're specifically kind of leaning on
for us?
For you guys?
You know, the cool thing about this team is it's a team. We have had different kids step up, different Saturdays, different quarters, different minutes. So, you know, offensively, we've got a couple of guys that have stood out. But I want to lean back on that defense. It's both groups, and it's everybody playing together. So.
Anything you want to add?
No, I'm excited for the game, so it'll be fun.
Cool.
We've talked to both coaches. We've heard their expectations. You've heard it here first on the Mighty Football Weekly. See you next week.